Hello and welcome. I'm Vlad, champion athlete. I've used skills learned in my sport over the years and applied into business and life to become just as successful. Now, a businessman, author, lecturer, coach, world traveller and of course a family man, if you allow me, I'll be sharing with you weekly tips and tricks on health and well-being for the mature of the mind and body, so you can cut through the bombardment of information, get to the fine print fast and get on with enjoying and embracing life worry-free. I invite you to stay connected by subscribing to this channel. Now, without further ado, let's get started with a classic one-liner, as we will every week, to lighten us up. Can you guess who it is this week?
Letter. Gentlemen. That ain't for us, we're not gentlemen. Speak for yourself. Oh!
Now that was a great classic, wasn't it? Hope you enjoyed that one. Now let's get on with giving you the best in cut through the wire, get to the point, stop mincing a word, stop waffling, stop posing, stop pretending, because me, like you, like everybody else, we don't have the time anymore. And I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube and people just waffle and waffle and waffle. So without further ado, as I said early on, let's get to the video, give you some great information. I'll try to keep them under 5 minutes. I'm sure you got 5 minutes to spare. So here we go with today's topic. Today I'm going to be talking about two of my favourite machines, the Yardman made by MTD and the good old Cox Stockman. Now let's talk about the Yardman. I bought both of these machines in 2006. First I bought the Yardman thinking, well, it's a well-known brand, it's 20 horsepower, it is 42-inch cut, which is ideal for the kind of grass that grows around here and the kind of grass that I need to take care of. As you can see, that's about the height of it when I'm mowing. I thought the Yardman would do a good job. Well, unfortunately 6 months later I purchased the Cox, and let me tell you some of the features that are quite good on this car. Pardon me. It does look like a car. As a matter of fact, one of the disadvantages, I'll start with disadvantages, is that because it has so many moving parts, it makes it a bit more unstable and it requires a lot more servicing and a lot more work on it when you take it to the service, because there are so many moving parts. First of all, when you start, you put your foot on the brake, moving part, possibly wearing out. Then turn the engine. Your accelerator's down here. Second of all, you then shift it into gear like in a car. Reverse, forward. Every time you want to go back, you need to stop, reverse, neutral, forward, stop. Again, moving parts, too many of them. The system underneath doesn't always cope very well. So the other thing is, it has down here is a brake. So you put your finger on this and you actually engage it engage the brake, which again is a problem. Sometimes it doesn't always work when you press it down. This one here is the cruise control. You get to a certain speed that you want over here, and then you press cruise control and then off you go. So they're the moving parts that are here, and as far as I'm concerned there's far too many of them. Then of course we've got the tray here. This is the tray. It's connected by one very long, very large belt. I can just take a picture of that for you. Very large belt, there, which at times, because it is a little bit loose, can fall off like that. Frays in the corners, bit hard to put back together, as you've got to take the whole tray off. Now once you put it, if you're putting blades on, which you need to do from time to time, the whole tray itself has to come off. And the disadvantage of that, if you're by yourself, it's very hard to do. The other thing is the tray itself has been poorly designed, and every time you finish mowing, there's always junk and rubbish stuck in there, mucking up all your working parts. You see all the muck is right underneath the blades engager. Okay, so the blades are underneath here on this cog, and now you've got all this dust and stuff underneath. So again, very poor setup. The machine itself, if you look inside, there's not much to it. You can't actually get to any of the things without unscrewing here and here, so the whole thing has to come off before you can do any work around there, removing plugs and such a thing. The tank is 8 litres and lasts about 3.5 to 4 hours of heavy duty lifting. Here we've got the battery. which is very good. It's quite accessible should you need to jump start it or recharge it after a time of non-activity. Again, as I say, the trays there, the blades are very large, and if you happen to bend one of them, like I did here, blade is bent, as you see, you've got to replace the whole thing. So you can't just buy that, you've got to replace this as well. Okay, and if you don't place them in properly, one of the blades will be higher than the other. One's going to be cutting at one level, the other one's going to be cutting at the other level. So for my money, while the Yardman suits certain conditions and specifications, cost me half as much as the Cox, yet in the long run it's costing me more with parts, it's costing me more with frustration, and it's costing me more with constantly having to stop and put the belt back, which falls off from time to time, and just basically frustrating. By the way, if you want any of the free information that I have or any PDF books that I might have, just drop me a line, let me know, and I'll give you the links and I'll even email it to you. So if you want them, ask for them. Cheers for now.
Be afraid, hard not to hesitate.